Can you hear it?
Welcome to the Alex Speiser Show. My name is Alex Speiser. Yeah, you know me. All right, so once again, this is an episode without video. Still getting things put together, and I'm still trying to figure out how to attach the lights to the ceiling here, so I can have some proper lighting for the videos and whatnot. But anyways, the news today. There's two main things I want to talk to you about in this episode, and that is DACA and abortion to Harvey victims, to Hurricane Harvey victims. So DACA. Okay, so here's the deal with DACA. It's not what's happened with President Trump. It's not really repeal. And I thought I would share some of the points about DACA from an article from Daily Wire about what's really going on with it, and then I'll share with you my thoughts. So some of the points from this article is that the administration will actually has already stopped the consideration of new applications for legal status as of yesterday, as of September 5th. So as of September 5th, you can't apply to have a legal status like a worker's permit or whatever to stay here in the United States. Well, that's actually a good thing because you shouldn't be able to attain that whatsoever at all if you came here illegally. So, excuse me, for those of you who don't know, DACA is about those who came over to the United States illegally, who came over as children. Their parents brought them here. They weren't born here. They were born in Mexico, and then they came over here. Well, either way, you came here illegally, so you aren't a citizen, and so it's actually unconstitutional to give people a legal status to allow them to obtain papers if they came here illegally. So that's actually a good thing. However, it says that those with current permits that expire between now and March 5th can apply for a new 2-year permit. And they have to do so before October 5th. So you can still technically continue to get legal status and, those papers. So, I mean, that's still unconstitutional. That really needs to end. And the other thing is, I said another point here is some so-called dreamers, so people who are under the age of 16 and below the age of 31 that were brought into the country by parents before 2012, those people will be granted new legal status, others won't. So we're still going to grant legal status to more people. Continuing the unconstitutional actions that Obama enacted. Great. And the other thing here is that even after March 5th, the deadline for enforcement of immigration law, according to the Trump administration, the Trump White House says it won't start deporting dreamers in serious numbers, but will continue to follow the Obama administration's focus on criminals. So basically, we have ended DACA, but we have not ended DACA. And by Trump, by him saying that we're not going to deport, we're not really going to focus on deporting dreamers unless they're criminals. Well, they're technically all criminals. They came here illegally, so they're all criminals. But obviously, he's not saying that, okay, we're going to deport all of them. That it's a code word for saying, well, technically they're all here illegally. They're all criminals, so we're actually going to deport all of them. When he says criminals, what he literally means is those criminals who are committing more crimes other than the felony they already committed by being here. But either way, they're all criminals. So that's something that we have to take into account. And there's a lot of arguing back and forth when it comes to illegal aliens coming to America and what to do about them. And I don't know why it's all so controversial, other than perhaps there aren't enough people who understand this. There are enough people who have been brainwashed into thinking that illegal immigration is something that it's not. And, they don't understand why we have laws and why they're important. They don't get certain invaluable principles such as responsibility and accountability. The United States government has a responsibility to care and provide for American citizens, and even prevent the theft that may occur from people like illegal aliens from coming over and enjoying the prosperity and freedom and even benefits we enjoy as a nation. Most people, they don't think of illegal immigration in that way. They don't think of it as theft, but if you really think about it, illegal immigration is nothing less than stealing. It doesn't matter if you are a hard-working, contributing illegal alien who works hard, and who quote unquote does good. The point is, if you came here illegally, you already did bad. You broke a very big law from the very get-go. Coming over here illegally is theft in several ways. It really, the main thing is it's an attempt to steal citizenship for yourself. It is stealing from the privileges of real citizens that who enjoy these things as a part of their country. They're stealing jobs, housing, modern conveniences, government programs, and taxpayer dollars through those government programs. Now, when I say all those things like jobs, housing, all those things, yeah, it's not like there's a shortage, of those things. But what I'm saying is, having jobs in America, having housing, having these modern conveniences, and especially taking advantage of government programs and using taxpayer dollars is something that should only be given to American citizens and those who come here legally, who like get a green card or whatever, because that is a privilege that you obtain for obeying and sustaining the law, for upholding these things and upholding our nation, really. So, in essence, if you're seeking, when you come here illegally, what you're doing is you're seeking to reap all of the benefits of citizenship without any of the responsibilities or obligations that actual citizenship requires. It's not that we as Americans don't want anyone else in the world to enjoy these benefits, because we do. We really hope that everyone can actually have these great things. But we know that we can't just give it to everyone. We can't just go to all the other countries and give them everything we have, or just bring them all into us and give them everything. Because if we do that, there won't be anything left. We won't be able to provide it for everyone. The point is, you have to earn them. And if you were born here, right, like you are a natural born citizen, you still earn the things that you enjoy. You earn them by being a law-abiding citizen who works and lives independent and upholds our system. But the main thing is that you abide by the law. And if you were born here and you don't abide by the law, well, then you don't reap those benefits. You go to prison. Just like people who are from a different country and come here illegally should be put in prison. They should be deported, actually, not really even held here. They need to be sent back. It's really, really important that we uphold the law. And the point is that it's not that I hate immigrants. In fact, I really love immigrants. I really do. My great-grandma was an immigrant from Ireland. And many other progenitors of mine were also immigrants. I love immigrants for what they do for our country. That is, that they come here legally. And they uphold the law and try to contribute back as law-abiding citizens who work and support our freedom. And so the point is that if you came here illegally, you are not an immigrant. Immigrant implies legally obtaining citizenship. If you came here illegally, you're not an immigrant. That means that by your very presence, you already stand against lawfulness. By you coming here illegally, by you being here present and breaking that law to be here, you already stand against our lawfulness. And it's not a small law, it's a big law. So entering a country illegally is a felony. I hope people realize that. It's a felony. It's not like going a couple miles over the speed limit hoping the cop doesn't pull you over. It's a felony. And so the point I'm trying to make here is that we have to reserve Americans first. And one of the main ways that we do that we preserve Americans' prosperity and freedom, that we preserve America, is by upholding the law. Without law, we cannot have liberty. We have anarchy. If we have anarchy, then we live by the power of the mighty, which means if you're weak, then you are at a disadvantage. You'll just be anything that the powerful want, they can just take from you. And let me just take this another step further, because people often, they don't look deeply enough at the purpose and importance of maintaining laws, especially laws like immigration. So let me put it this way in an analogy so you can better understand it. So laws are kind of like a manual, like a guidebook to an airplane, a commercial jet. As you might realize, there are probably a lot of rules and procedures to follow through when you are the captain of a jet. And let's say you're the captain. Imagine that this jet is meant to take a really long trip. You're going to fly from, let's say, San Francisco to Japan. That's like a 15-hour flight. And so you get things ready. You follow the manual, you follow the guidelines, the procedures in here, and you get get the airplane ready for this really long flight. And it's all in that rule book. So you fill up your fuel tank, you ensure that all the parts are working properly, you make sure there's enough food for all the passengers for the trip to keep them happy. You make sure that the people on board also know the safety procedures and they abide by them. You ensure that the total weight of the plane is the total weight of the plane is not too much. That way, there's not too many passengers nor too much luggage, so it doesn't exceed a certain amount, which could greatly affect your fuel necessary to make the trip. So you check it all. You make sure it's all ready for departure, and then right before you're about to go, suddenly all of these passengers just start coming on without tickets. They just start coming onto the airplane. And no matter what you say, nothing is done to escort these people out. No one's enforcing this rule that, hey, if you only come on here if you have a ticket specifically for this flight. No one's upholding that. So people are just coming in here because they want to make the flight too. They all start coming in, and you end up with a ton of extra passengers. And so you finally, whatever, people come on, it's overpacked, whatever. And so you decide to take off, and you get into the air. And as the hours pass, the flight attendants alert you that, hey, we ran out of food. I'm like, what? Yeah, we ran out of food because they started giving food out to everyone, including the extra passengers. So they couldn't even get to all of the passengers in the airplane, especially not the ones in the back, not all the ones who came here, who boarded with a ticket, because they ran out so quickly. They ran out of food. So you're only a couple of hours in, and there's no food left. And then let's say 10 hours into the flight, or maybe 8 hours into the flight, you discover that your fuel is getting low and that you're not going to make it to Japan. You're not going to make it to your destination because, well, it turns out you have way too much weight on board. And you can't turn back because you're flying over the Pacific Ocean. And so you wouldn't make it back to the States. And so you got to try to find a way to land this somewhere else. And hopefully you can land it somewhere else. And so the point of all this is that when you have people not obeying the law and they come over and they do these things, it really disrupts our entire system. And especially when you have people who are ridiculously I just want to call them imbeciles, really, because when they just go, oh, we're gonna take care of these immigrants. They call them immigrants, but they're actually illegal aliens. And we're gonna do all these things for them. Don't deport them. They are great contributing members of society. Well, actually, they are taking away from our society by taking away our lawfulness. And if we need anything nowadays, it is more law-abiding citizens. We need more lawfulness. As all the events going on in the news can definitely attest to that. We have riots, we have all sorts of things. We have police that are being told not to enforce the law, so people are being attacked by Antifa and BLM. We need more lawfulness. Lawfulness is how we survive, is how we ensure that our rights are protected. And by breaking laws like that, if you want to go back to the plane analogy, it's not that we have a scarcity of resources. I mean, technically we do, but we don't. And what I'm saying is, if you have a lot of extra people who are going to want to board the plane, it's not that we can't give them more tickets, it's that you need to get a new airplane. You need to get a bigger jet that's going to hold them all. If you don't, well, then you're not going to be able to do this. It's going to be impossible. So really, you have to... if we do things properly, then we can accommodate for all that is going on, and then we can ensure that we can make this flight safely. We can make it to our destination safely. America can continue to prosper and to grow and protect our prosperity and our rights and our property. So that's my take on DACA. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about really quickly here is abortion. Okay. And I've talked about abortion before, but what I'm talking about is abortion for the hurricane, for the Harvey victims down in the South. Now, there was a poster apparently, and also they alerted on Twitter and in other places that Planned Parenthood, according to the poster, it says, we're providing no-cost abortions for patients affected by Hurricane Harvey. Which is kind of strange, because it's kind of like, if Hurricane Harvey didn't kill you, or if Hurricane Harvey didn't kill enough people, don't worry. We're here to do it. We're here to kill some more. I mean, really, because that's what abortion is. It's murder. It's killing human beings. No matter how small, it's a human being. And it's really disgusting that we look away, we turn away, that so many of us just ignore this matter because so many politicians won't do anything about it. Like I said, I've had someone close to me say that it's a moot political point because Democrats and Republicans, they're not really going to do anything about it, so it's just up to the individual to decide. It's never a moot point when it's a violation of human rights. When we allow the violation of one citizen's rights, even if they are still in the womb, then we will allow for the violation of rights in other places, and that's already happening. And more importantly, it is disgusting that we're like that. This is okay, that we are going to allow people to murder babies and murder children because and to do so for free, that they promote it as though it's like we're going to hand out free hamburgers to all these people who couldn't access the McDonald's down in the Hurricane Harvey area. It's not that way at all. This is a gross example of where we are as a country. Thank you so much for listening to the Alex Speiser Show. If you liked what you heard, click that like button. And also, if you want to hear more, in fact, if you want to get some more information about the role of like laws and the role of morality and religion, and even God and how he plays a role in these laws, then go to alexspeiser.com, same spelling as the show, alexspeiser.com/book. And there you can pre-order my book, Millennial Morality, which is all about it's the case for God, religion, and morality in politics and in laws. And there you can get there's a lot of information in that book. I'd love to share that with you. Anyways, thank you for liking, listening, and subscribing. Live free until next time.